Just like children travelling a long distance in a car have a habit of saying, "Are we there yet?" Many of us are now asking whether we've survived the COVID-19 storm and whether things are now going to get back to normal.
In today's episode, we're going to explore to see whether things are going to go back to normal anytime soon. And spoiler alert, it's not.
Most of us enjoy engaging with other people in person instead of looking at the Brady Bunch pictures in yet another web meeting. I'm an introvert, and even I'm looking forward to seeing people in a physical room again.
Definitely, John. The world has dramatically changed since the arrival of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. It has unfortunately impacted the way we live and work around the world. And our sympathies go out to all those who have lost loved ones and colleagues as a result.
We might think that it's been over a year now since the pandemic first hit, so we deserve to get back to normal. There have been more than 120 million confirmed cases of COVID-19 around the world, and about 3 million people have died. Over 200 countries and territories have been affected, with few escaping unscathed.
So you'd be excused for thinking that the worst is now over. And we have multiple vaccines available now and an ambitious vaccination program being rolled out.
However, according to research released in February 2021, Bloomberg predicts that our lives might not return to normal for another 7 years. That's based on how long it's expected for countries to be able to vaccinate a sufficient percentage of their population. And sadly, that's not taking into account the multiple variants that have now started to develop, and it's unknown how well the vaccines will even affect them.
So it might be tempting to think that once we're over the COVID-19 pandemic, life will go back to normal. But sadly, if it's not the coronavirus, then it probably will be some other contagious disease that will impact us in the future. Here are two that have been reported during the last month. First, there is the Nipah plague, which is carried by fruit bats and has been described as being 75 times more deadly than the coronavirus. Similarly, the ABC reported in February 2021 that Russia has recently reported the first case of human infections from H5N8 bird flu. Now, this could have a devastating impact on human life. And as usual, we'll put links to those news articles in the show notes on the blog.
I think it's going to be another pendulum swing. Before coronavirus, we probably used physical events about 90% of the time to engage with our audiences, with maybe less than 10% of it being done online. During the pandemic, however, that swung the other way. So we were only doing probably less than 10% in person and 90% online, depending on where you were. I think that as things slowly return to the new normal, that we'll continue to use online approaches when appropriate, which might be around 50% of the time. It's just so convenient not travelling, and it's much cheaper on project budgets too.
So sorry to be party poopers, but it does seem unlikely to us that we'll go back to the old business as usual anytime soon. So what does this mean for us as enablers of change? Well, firstly, we need to continue caring for the people around us. Keep an eye out for people who might not be coping. Take the time to connect with them and hear their story. Let them know you're interested in hearing how they're doing.
It also means that whenever we're planning a physical event, that we need to seriously develop a plan B in case of another overnight lockdown. These knee-jerk reactions are going to keep happening, so don't pretend that your next event will be immune.
And finally, if you still haven't improved your online skills and abilities, you'd better do it now. You need to know how to host and facilitate great web meetings where people can feel engaged and energized. Boring, tiring, demotivating web meetings are so last year. So let's lead the way and engage our clients in new and exciting ways.
Well, you've heard our somewhat pessimistic thoughts. Now we'd like to hear yours. Add a comment below the blog post and tell us your thoughts, including any tips and further ideas. We don't want this just to be a one-way conversation. Join in by sharing your thoughts and ideas with us.
So thanks, folks, for joining us on this Enablers of Change episode. Remember to subscribe to our newsletter if you'd like to know when new episodes are available. And if you liked what you heard, please tell your friends so they can join the conversation.
All the best until we meet again.